Morning. It is Tuesday, January 15th. And I just wanted to talk quickly about this Gillette ad that they recently aired, which was basically must have been written by a feminist. It talks about men being traditional male masculinity being toxic, right? Essentially saying that, the phrase "boys will be boys" should never be uttered again. That boys, roughhousing and fighting shouldn't be tolerated. And of course, bullying, which shouldn't be tolerated, except, there's an argument to be made that bullying actually is a public service. But, just, if you haven't seen the ad, go and watch it. It's basically slapping the face of every man who would likely buy the product of Gillette. And of course it wasn't well received. The video got ratioed. I think it was 35,000 likes to like 1,000, or 35,000 dislikes to 1,000 likes at this point. They're removing comments. Procter & Gamble, Gillette, whoever they are. They're removing comments in the YouTube video. They're removing dislikes, because I watched it last night. I disliked it, and I think I made a comment, so I went back to check again and see what the ratio was, and my dislike was removed. So I had to dislike it again. In any event, it's just, people are sick of manufacturers of consumer products moralizing to their customers. Now, part of me is cynical to think that, it's kind of cynical about it. And I think that, these companies know that there's going to be a backlash, and they're operating under the model of, any press is good press. So they've probably done an analysis of like how many people will they actually lose as customers because of this versus how much buzz will it generate and actually bring new customers on. But the net result is they are pushing a message which, one, couldn't be further from the truth. If anything, there's a lack of masculinity in the world, and that's why people are just unhappy. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have run that yellow. Anyway, whatever. But part of being masculine, part of masculinity, part of the testosterone that is running through my veins is that men take risks, right? Men seek adventure. Men take risks. Men are prone to aggression in certain circumstances. And what the ad is trying to say is that is bad. And that is detrimental to society. Black Pigeon Speaks does a video on this because I guess the American Psychological Academy or whatever, APA, American Psychological Association, there we go. They have come out and said that toxic masculinity, which is traditional masculinity, is bad. It's now considered something that should be looked for in patients of psychologists and should be treated as though it is an ailment. So if let's say a guy goes to a psychologist because he's having some trouble getting to sleep, it turns out it has to do with some past trauma that he wasn't aware of. Now, according to the APA, if the guy expresses that he likes to hunt, or he enjoys boxing, or he's involved in traditionally male activities that have at their core a sense of risk or adventure or aggression, that might be a cause and that should be treated. Yeah, I'm just hypothesizing about that, but it's kind of sad, this attack on maleness. And I saw a meme that was saying that something along the lines of 70% of boys are raised by only a mother. And like 80% of teachers are female. So that, the strongest influence in a boy's life is female. So maybe, masculinity isn't the problem. Maybe a lack of masculinity is the problem. And I mean, that bears true in crime statistics. One of the single greatest indicators of whether or not a kid's going to become involved in crime of any sort is whether or not they've got a male father figure at home, whether or not there's a strong male presence in their lives, typically a biological father. Right? If you don't have a biological father, you're just that much more likely, living in your home, living in the home, or even, a stepfather living in the home. If you don't have a male role model or a male influence in your life, you're more likely to get involved in crime. You're more likely to get involved in drugs. You've got a higher propensity for dropping out of school, higher propensity for suicide, all of these things. So it's not masculinity that's the problem. It's a lack of masculinity. It's the destruction and the erosion of the traditional family. It's the destruction and the erosion of the idea that men should be strong. Men should be cautious about showing weakness. Men should be territorial and protect their own and protect their property and protect their family. These ideas are being shit upon by academia, by popular culture, and now by Gillette. And the issue is not that these things are bad for society. The issue is that these things are good for society, but society's decided, no, we want to try and do away with them. So if anybody wanted to ask, well, what would life be like under a matriarchy? We have one. We essentially do. Now, I know the feminists will say, well, no, that's not true, man. There are more male millionaires, there are more male CEOs, there are more male heads of state, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but the influence of the female voting bloc and the influence of women in academia from primary school all the way up to college, and the influence of feminist ideology has turned society into a de facto matriarchy, where maleness is shit upon, and maleness is turned into some sort of disease. So, welcome to Why the Last Man, except there's lots of men around. This is essentially what we have. If you haven't read Why the Last Man, it's a Vertigo title from, 15, 20 years ago. But it's a DC Vertigo comic series. It's about a plague that kills every man on the planet, except one guy and one rhesus monkey. All other females of every species have died out. And there's this one guy, and it's about his adventures in the modern world, or the dystopian future that is a forced matriarchy, and just how violent, hubristic, and awful women can be when put in a position where they have to be in order to survive. Which, pokes holes in the idea that if only women could run things, there'd be a lot more peace. If only women could run things, then things would be a lot more fair. Well, women do run things. Women are responsible for most of the hiring in Western civilization. Women are responsible for most of the training of employees and the code of conduct, because women head up the HR departments. Women control academia, so they control the formative education of children. So women ran things, women do run things. And we have the society that we do right now. Now, it's been cooperative in nature, and quite frankly, it's pretty peaceful. Can you lay that all at the feet of the women? No. Can you lay it all at the feet of the men? No. It's been cooperative. Men and women have been tempering one another in their own way. But this all or nothing attitude that, men need to be more like women. Boys being raised or treated or disciplined in schools as though they're defective girls. It's, it's got to be addressed, I think. And the hope is that it will be. The hope is that it'll be, someone will open their eyes and say, look, what we're doing to kids, what we're doing to boys, what we're saying to boys, what our popular culture is portraying men like, one, it's false. Two, it's not good for anybody, and it's not going to have the consequence or the the result that anybody ever imagined or hoped for. Anyway, watch the Gillette ad. Watch Black Pigeon Speaks video on toxic masculinity. I think he called pathological masculinity or something. I think that's what the video's called. Anyway, I'll link them both in the description. They're both worth a watch. And be sure to dislike the Gillette. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Maybe you like it. I don't know. But I disliked it. And be sure to like the Black Pigeon Speaks. Or dislike it. But I liked it. Anyway, that's really all I really wanted to say today. I'm at 11 minutes. I'm not even at work yet. Jeez, slow day today. I'll talk to y'all soon. Like and subscribe when you can. Hit the little bell thing, and please leave a comment if you disagree with anything I've said, or even if you agree with anything I've said. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm almost to work, but I gotta sign off. Concentrate on the road. Thanks a lot. Take care.